payable.
We are in accounts payable. We have discussed the P2P cycle.
Yes.
Okay.
Cash
Then
discounts, payment days, and payment schedules.
okay, payment dates we have discussed. Cash discount, I mean discount codes we have configured. Payment schedules we have worked on. So we have methods of payments and terms of payments. So first terms of payments and then methods of payments. Okay. Then we have okay charge codes. We'll discuss it later actually. Perfect. Seems like good attendance. Thank you. Let me share my screen. So able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So we have discussed it until here. P2P cycle, payment days, payment schedules, and
Method of
cash discounts here. So we have to discuss these two, method of payments and terms of payments. Today let us discuss initially this topic, terms of payments. Okay, let's see what terms of payments is and why terms of payment is used. So what does it meant by terms of payment? Any meaning or any other idea in your mind? What is a terms of payment or what could be a terms of payment?
which particular payment we causes,
Uh,
like unscheduled one. If you given like one example of a certain time of the payment of a term, we can pay that time.
okay. Okay. What Shiva said roughly is correct. So the certain time or whatever the period that we include for payment or we decide for a payment of an invoice is what we have terms of payment. So other than that, normally what does terms indicate? What is meant by terms as a term? Terms as a term.
So like certain company schedule, like terms like which the company norms and terms used.
Okay. If there are any conditions
Conditions
that
and
that are surrounding the payment for a particular invoice transaction. So it can be a vendor invoice or it can be a customer invoice. It can be any invoice. So since we are talking an accounts payable, assume it is to be a vendor invoice. So on vendor invoice, we normally have a terms of payment. We can design a terms of payment, define, and we can give it. So what kind of terms of payment we can give? We can give terms of payment like net 30 days, which means from the date of invoice, 30 days is a lenience time or the payment time vendor is giving us so that we can pay the vendor or pay against that particular invoice in that 30 days. It's just an example, net 30 days. So there are also different ways how we can define terms of payment and apply it to invoices. We can apply it by default to the vendor such that all the transactions done, all the invoices done to the vendor will by default have that terms of payment only. Or we can also define a terms of payment in specifically for each individual invoice. You can give it manually. So what it does is it will drive the payment date. It will drive the payment due date. So why terms of payment is so much important in business is that for every invoice, if you have a payment date scheduled properly, so if when you assign a terms of payment, a due date will be defined. Okay, when you have this due date properly, your cash flows can be maintained in business norm. So when we have to pay, how much? So by the 15th of this month, how much we have to pay to the vendors or how many invoices are falling due. So how that can be counted? That can be calculated only when a proper terms of payment is applied on the invoice. So when we understand the due date, so we will come to understand how much we have to pay within that particular due date. This is some sound from someone. I'll just mute. Okay, thank you. So that's the importance of terms of payment in business. So today let us see how we can configure the terms of payments in accounts payable module. So the same terms of payments actually also show up in the accounts receivable module automatically because it's a two-way menu. You can use the same for customer invoices also if you want to, or you can design something new for customer perspective. Okay. And later in the course, normally we will do invoices, right? So I'll show you how we can defaultly assign a terms of payment to a vendor, or how we can overwrite it in the invoice place, or how we can assign to an invoice specifically. We'll see that part. Okay. To configure terms of payment, we might have to navigate to accounts payable, to the same menu, payment setup. Here we have this option called as terms of payment. Accounts payable, payment setup, terms of payment. Okay, when I click on terms of payment, I see it is empty. Okay, I can create few terms of payment just to demonstrate you how that can be created and maintained. So I just clicked on new. Here you see there are few methods for selection. One net method, current month method, current quarter, current year, current week, COD, cash on delivery, and cutoff day. So let's see all of them, how they would work normally, each one of them, and how we can configure them, or how once we configure how we can apply them, we can see it. Okay. So firstly, we'll go with this one, net, which is very easy to understand. Okay. So net means from the date of invoice, from the date or the invoice date that we give when we are creating the invoice, from that particular date, how many net days. If we say like net 30 days, you can say net 1 month, you can say net 2 months, you can say net 3 months, you can say. Suppose I'll go with the example. Invoice date is 1st of September. Okay, I'm giving net 10 days as a time. Net 10 days means starting from the date of invoice, you will be given 10 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 10th will fall as a due date. Okay. So in that way, you can give net 10 days or net 20 days, net 30 days, net 45 days, net 60 days as you wish. Or you can also give like net 1 month, which means 1st of September is your invoice date, right? So 1st of October will be your due date because you have given 1 month due date for you, 1 month sparing time. So you can keep 30 days or 1 month as you wish. What is the feasibility of keeping 1 month means normally you will have days difference in months, right? 30 days, 31 days, 28 days, depends. So accordingly they can configure net 30 days, net 10 days, net 20 days, like that. Or you can also configure net 3 months as you wish. So in any way you can configure this. So how to configure this, we'll see here. So suppose I'll do it for net 30 days, very prominent in business. So I'll copy and give the same description, net 30 days. Here I can see the payment method is net. So okay, I'm selecting net. Cash payment, it's disabled because it's only applicable for COD, cash on delivery. And month, I'm selecting 30 days, right? So I don't have to select any month. I'll directly give here as days as 30. Okay, I can give net 30 days and I can configure it. So this is how we can do it. Suppose if I want to do the same again for net 2 months. Okay, I'm giving net 2 months as a terms of payment, or one of the vendor is giving 2 months time for me. So for that I can give payment method as net only here, and I can give months as 2 here rather than days. I can give months, so that net 2 months will be the calculation. 2 months means it can be either 60 days or 30 plus 30 or 31 plus 31 or 30 plus 31 or 28 plus 30, anything. 28 plus 31, it can be any situation. So it will be net 2 months regardless of when it is, when the invoice is done, according to the invoice date plus 2 months. So if it is 10th of this month, the due date will be the 10th after 2 months. So September 10th is the invoice date. So due date will be October and November 10th. It's like it will consider 2 days gap, 2 days spare time that here in this. So there is also this situation actually for normally this is for 30 days as well. This is for 2 months. So do you have any confusion until here? Understanding this part? Anyone?
No, bro, it's clear.
Yeah, actually, for this we don't need to. I mean, we don't need any payment days. For
No need
example,
of
if you
any, no need of any
okay,
payment. I'll come to this point of payment day why we have to give it here if
yeah,
at all we
actually,
require.
my doubt is if we have a payment days, there is no need of creating the terms of payment.
If we have payment day, there is no need of terms of payment.
Okay.
If you have terms of payments, you don't have to give payment day.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, you can give both of them here in this case. Suppose
Okay.
if I am giving net 30 days, okay, and also I am giving 15th day.
Okay.
If I'm giving net 30 days and 15th day, whatever comes early will be the due date.
Okay.
Either it is 15th day of month or net 30 days.
Okay.
Suppose that if I'm doing invoice on 10th of September, then what is my due date? With the due date, if at all I will follow this particular pattern, my due date will fall on 15th day. 15th day means 15th of September only. Even though I have net 30 days here, I have 15th of day is one of the condition I have in between. Suppose if the invoice is done on 16th of September, then due date will be normally it will be again 15th only. I mean the coming 15th of next month.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So if you have 20 days, then usually it might differ. The chances might differ or it might not overlap situations. So if you don't have to keep it like this here, I mean two conditions within it. If it is for net 30 days, it's normally net 30 days. That's all. But if you are giving payment day in the invoice, then no need to give terms of payment because both of them are not needed. One of them would be enough. Or to have an exact one particular day of terms of payment, one of them will be enough. Okay. Not normally they don't confuse the system by system means in the sense business people by having two different due dates usually. So you can also apply payment schedule within if you want to. So but suppose if I am here for net 2 months. So within this 2 months, I can apply schedule like I can pay it in 2 installments, 3 installments, 4 installments within 2 months only. So for that we have these methods, right? We have already seen total method, specific method, how we can configure as well as fixed amount method, fixed quantity methods. So we can create a fixed quantity method for 2 months to define the payment or to break down the payment into 2 installments, so one for each month. I mean, you can pay it in within net 2 months, but you can also pay it in schedules in 2 months. You don't have to pay all the amount at a time. You can pay it in installments also, and that installments has to be according to the schedule. If you give one schedule here, whatever the schedules you define, you can see the list here. We have discussed this topic in the previous class. You can give one apt schedule that would fit into 2 months. Okay, if you have net 6 months, you can give one schedule which would fit into 6 months. So that both the terms of payments as well as schedule will be applied to the invoice automatically. So normally schedules are applied to the invoices once after posting them. But if you apply terms of payment which is having a schedule, automatically schedule will also get applied along with the terms of payment to the invoice. So since we have these many conditions or features within it, so we normally call it as terms of payment. We can define different types of conditions here. So I'm not giving any of this payment schedule or payment day for this net 2 months and net 30 days. Okay, but here there is a chance of giving it as default terms of payment. If I enable this as default terms of payment, what happens is whenever a vendor is created for that particular vendor, default terms of payment net 2 months will be taken until and unless you change it manually and give another one, it will be taken by system automatically as a default terms of payment. I'm not giving it default terms of payment because we'll maintain different terms of payments for different vendors or different customers. We'll do it. So if at all, if you want net 30 days to be a default terms of payment for all the vendors you create, and you know that for the vendors that you have to change, you will change it manually, then you can give it as a default terms of payment. Okay, this is how we can create net 2 months, net 3 months, and I'll also create one more like net 15 days. But from the date of invoice, it will be 15 days. So this is of terms of payments work. Then we have few more methods. So let us see what are they. So these methods, current month, current quarter, current year, and current week, all of them are into same pattern. I'll tell you how this works. So I am saying something as current month plus 10 days. Okay, current month plus 10 days. So here I am giving payment method as current month, and in days I am giving it as 10 days. So what happens when I give this as current month plus 10 days? Any idea? Previously this same issue we got in where we got the previous same kind of counting.
Cash response we have discussed.
Correct. Suppose if I'm doing invoice, okay, invoice date is, suppose invoice date is 27th, today's date, 27th of September. So what will be the due date if I give it as current month plus 10 days? What happens? What is the logic?
November 7th.
It will leave the current month and 10 days. 10th of October will be the due date.
No,
Correct.
no.
What?
Is
Somebody
it?
saying something. Yeah.
Yeah, is it due date is October 10th?
Correct. Because system will leave the current month plus another 10 days will be added.
Okay. Yep.
So 27th of September is the invoice date. So in this month we only have 3 days left over, right? 3 or 4 days. So that will be left over, and another 10 days will be taken into consideration as grace days for payment.
So here month doesn't mean that there should be so many of days, 30 days, nothing like that. It's just like whatever the days are there. Ante kadandi?
Yes, current month will be left over, and additionally 10 days will be given as grace time. Suppose if the invoice is done on 2nd of September, then what will be the due date?
Again, the same thing, 10th.
It is done in any date on this month. 10th of October will be the due date. That's all. Understood the point? This one. So it, whenever you do the invoice, system will leave that current month of invoice date, and it will consider the other 10 days as grace days for payment. So after that, terms of payment or the due date, the invoice will fall due. So that's how the current month plus current month logic works. If I give current month here and if I give 10 means it's like current month plus 10. If I give current month and here also here 1 means under month, I'm not giving days. If I give 1 month means here, then so assume that I'm not giving any days, so I'm giving month here. Then what happens?
Current month plus another 1 month.
Correct. System will consider current month. System will leave current month. How many days if it is there, it won't consider anything. It will add one more month for that additionally. After leaving the current month, another month will be left over, and in the other month you will get the due date. That's so mostly they want to give it like this, current month plus 1 and all. They'll mostly give current month plus 10 days or 15 days or 5 days, something like that. Okay, so this is the process we have for current month plus 10 days, or you can also give current month plus 2 days, current month plus 3 days, like that. Got the logic, guys? Understanding the logic is important. All of you, if you have any doubt, just let me know. Okay, I assume the silence to be understanding. So now I'll go for another one. So I'll go for CQ, current quarter plus 10 days. Okay. So here I'm going for current quarter and I'm giving 10 days, right? Then in that case, if I'm doing invoice on 2nd of September, what will be my due date? I'm giving current quarter plus 10 days grace period.
October 10th only. Is it October 10th?
No, it's not October 10th. I said current quarter plus 10 days.
Yeah,
Means
this current
three
quote,
months after you said.
Yeah, September it should.
we are
September
in
will be
third quarter, right? So second September will come under third quarter, and 10 days will be on October 10 days.
Okay, any other opinion? Anybody? Yeah. So we have heard what our friend said. So how would system know what it is? I mean, which quarter this month is falling into? So I have this question.
We maintain periods.
Maintain which periods?
Posting periods.
Posting periods. Yes, we have periods in where we have those periods. Any idea? So how would system know that your quarter is from January to December, January to March only, and
We
April
have
to
ledger calendars.
June? No, in ledger calendars we don't have anything related to quarter. I'll show you. So in general ledger, fiscal calendars we have where we have configured this calendar, not this 445. We have calendar MRF for hour. So here you can see quarter. If first 3 periods are falling into quarter 1, the other periods are falling into quarter 2, other into quarter 3 and quarter 4. See, September, October, and now I'm sorry, October, November, and December are falling into fourth quarter. So here we have this option, quarters. So suppose since we are starting our fiscal period from January here, so we have first quarter as January, February, and March. But if you would start the fiscal period from any other month other than January, then the first quarter would differ. If you would start it from March, April, and May would be your first quarter, right? Or if you would start it from February, then the first 3 months, February, March, and April will fall into first quarter. So that would differ here in these periods. How system would take quarters or calculation will differ from here. So according to your fiscal calendar, how quarters are defined, system will consider the calculation here in this current quarter plus, sorry, where it is current quarter plus 10 days here. So that quarter calculation will be picked from here. So according to your logic, what you have told, answer is correct, but logic is from here. Okay, got it, guys? Any confusion in this?
No.
Saideep, Sairam.
No.
Okay, perfect then. Okay, so we also have other one, current year plus current year and current week. So how does this work? Current year and current week. Any idea? Just the same logic. Current year means it will leave the entire fiscal year and in the next year. Suppose if I give current year plus 10 days, it will leave the entire fiscal year. Suppose my fiscal year is ending it December 31st, right? So January 10th will be my due date, or it will leave the entire year. Whenever the invoice is done in this year, may it be the any date in this year, system will leave this year and the due date will fall into next year after 10 days. So that is current year plus 10 days, or current year plus, you can also give 2 months, 3 months, like that, up to you. But that long, not most of them will give. If at all they give also, they will give current year plus 1 month time, but they also have payment schedule accordingly. They'll apply the payment schedule for all those months in that case. So see, there is an option. It's not preferred mostly. That's one. Another one we have is current week. So we'll create one for this as well. Current week plus 2 days. Sorry, took is equal to. So current week plus 2 days. So I can give same current week plus 2 days here. So what happens if I give current week plus 2 days? So if I give current week plus 2 days means it will leave the entire week and take another 2 days. Suppose if I am doing invoice on 1st of September, it will leave the entire week. So starting from 1 to 8, it is a week, right? So it will leave that week and it will take the next 2 days. Sorry, it's not from 8, sorry. It's a week will end here, right? I mean on the Saturday. So it will take next 2 days. Monday will be the due date usually. So generally if I give current week plus 2 days, every time Monday only will be the due date, you know. So if I do invoice on Friday, then also next Monday, coming Monday will be the due date because I gave current week plus 2 days. Sunday plus Monday will be the due date, I mean second day. So that's the logic. If I do invoice in this week, suppose starting from 5th to 11th, it will leave this week and next Monday, 13th will be the due date, 2 days in the next week. So that will be the logic, current week plus 2 days. Don't keep current week plus 1 month. Okay, that's not correct process. So current week plus 2 days is one kind of option we have. There is also another terms of payment here called as
Bro,
COD. Yeah, please.
can you please once open the calendar?
Sure. Here we are.
No, not this one. This on the system. ఇక్కడ ఈ calendar bro మన system like date.
Oh, this one, correct. Okay. Okay. Here he is asking this one. Yeah.
ఇప్పుడు ఒకవేళ like invoice date 11th అయింది అనుకోండి.
Okay, 11th Saturday.
Current week plus 2 days ఇస్తే will it consider 13th?
Definitely, because 11th is falling into this week, right?
Okay.
This week. So it will be current week plus 2 days means it will definitely be on Monday only.
Okay. And one more thing, what if we consider the week as like from Wednesday to Tuesday? అంటే కొన్ని కంపెనీ అట్లా చేయాలనుకుంటా.
You don't have weekly calendar, right? Normal ga weekly calendar unte fiscal calendars lo తీసుకునే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది maybe, but that doesn't work.
Okay.
If you feel that, suppose let me go with the same what you have said.
Yeah.
So Wednesday to Thursday calendar ఉంది అనుకుందాం జనరల్ గా. Wednesday to Thursday calendar ఉంటే నీకు పేమెంట్ డే ఎప్పుడు కావాలి?
పేమెంట్ డే లైక్ 9th అయినా పేమెంట్ డే
వీక్ లో ఏ డే కావాలి పేమెంట్ డే? ఇప్పుడు మనం వీక్ ప్లస్ 2 ఇస్తే ప్రతిసారి మండేనే వస్తుంది కదా. సేమ్ అలానే నీకు కూడా వీక్ ప్లస్ 3 కానీ 4 కానీ ఏదో ఒకటి ఇస్తారు కదా, అది ఏ డే కావాలి? వీక్ ప్లస్ 4 వీక్ ప్లస్ 5?
4 days.
ఓకే, వీక్ ప్లస్ 4 అనుకుందాం. సో వీక్ ప్లస్ 4 అంటే ఎవ్రీ టైమ్ ఇట్ విల్ కమ్ ఆన్ సండే. వీక్ ప్లస్ 4 అంటే మండే వస్తుంది. థర్స్డే తర్వాత కదా 1 2 3 4 మండే వస్తుంది మళ్ళీ. సో ఇట్ విల్ కమ్ ఆన్ మండే ఓన్లీ, రైట్? సో ఒకవేళ కనుక ఆ లాజిక్ రాకపోతే ఇక్కడ వీక్ ప్లస్ 2 పెట్టుకున్నా కూడా ఖచ్చితంగా మండేనే వస్తుంది కదా.
అవునవును.
బట్ జస్ట్ దట్ దేర్ ఇస్ అ డిఫరెన్స్ అగైన్. సో అది ఈ వీక్ లో చేసామా అంటే నువ్వు చెప్పినట్లు వీక్ ఇక్కడికి అయిపోతే అది ఈ వీక్ ఎందుకు వస్తుంది, అది ఫ్రైడే చేస్తే మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడికే వస్తుంది తిరిగి మండేకి, వీక్ ప్లస్ 2 days. కానీ అర్థం కాలేదు.
అలా చేయడానికి మనకు ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుందా? ఇట్లా
అలా చేయడానికి అయితే ఆప్షన్ లేదు నాకు తెలిసి. స్టాండర్డ్ వీకే తీసుకుంటుంది మోస్ట్లీ. ఓకే, then we have one more option called COD. So I'm selecting this COD. COD ante enti? Anybody have any idea what is COD?
Cash on delivery. Yeah.
That's correct. Cash on delivery is something we have. So what is it meant by cash on delivery? Any idea?
I mean, it's like paying. The hot cash on delivery. Whenever something is delivered, only when something is delivered.
So okay, paying it as and when the invoice is received.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean normally when the goods are delivered, as well along with, if at all they want to receive the amount as and when the goods are delivered, they will send the invoice at the same date along with the goods. Usual గా ఫ్లిప్కార్ట్ నుంచి అమెజాన్ నుంచి వచ్చే ఆర్డర్ ఐటమ్ తో పాటు ఇన్వాయిస్ కూడా తీసుకొని వస్తారు. సో క్యాష్ ఆన్ డెలివరీ పెడితే వీ హ్యావ్ టు పే ద పర్టికులర్ పర్సన్ డెలివరీ పర్సన్ అండ్ వీల్ హ్యావ్ టు he'll hand over the order to us. So that's what we have as cash on delivery, right? సో క్యాష్ ఆన్ డెలివరీకి ఇంకేం ఉండదు టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ పేమెంట్, మంత్స్ డేస్ ఏమి ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు జనరల్గా. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ క్యాష్ ఆన్ డెలివరీ యూ విల్ రిసీవ్ అండ్ యూ విల్ పే ఇట్, దట్స్ ఆల్. సో యాజ్ అండ్ వెన్ ద ఇన్వాయిస్ ఇస్ డన్, ద సేమ్ డేట్ ఇట్ విల్ ఫాల్ ద డ్యూ డేట్ యాజ్. ఓకే, దానికి కూడా గ్రేస్ డేస్ ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు, లైక్ 2 days. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు గివ్ ఎనీథింగ్ యూ కెన్ గివ్, బట్ నార్మల్లీ అలా ఇవ్వరు కదా. సో క్యాష్ ఆన్ డెలివరీ పెట్టారు కాబట్టి ఆర్ యూ రియల్లీ మేకింగ్ ఏ క్యాష్ పేమెంట్? If it is a cash payment, you can enable this one. This option is only available for COD. Okay, if it is a cash payment, then you can give a cash account from which account you normally pay. Like you have a petty cash account or cash account. Suppose I'll select petty cash account. So from petty cash account, I'll pay. System will not consider this, but just for reference sake, you can give one account here and you can say it as a cash payment. That's all. And you don't have to fill any months and days because it is paid as and when the goods are received or the invoice is received, right? So no need to pay, no need to have any other days or months numbers here. That's the concept of cash on delivery. So if you apply this cash on delivery on any invoice which is dated on 2nd of September, invoice date is 2nd of September, due date also 2nd of September only, because you have to pay it immediately or settle it immediately. That's the condition. So other than this, we have only one method. So one important method actually, cutoff day. It's not most prominently used, but we have this method as cutoff day. So if I select that cutoff day option, I don't have any options here or here. So I usually have it like this. Of 10 I'll select. Okay, cutoff 10th day. 1 second. So what happens with the cutoff day is that you can give a payment day here. Payment day means you will normally give 15th of a month, and I will also give cutoff day as 10th. Okay, so this is what happens when if the invoices are done before 10th, on or before 10th, so the cutoff day will be 15th of that month. Suppose if the invoice is done after 10th, the cutoff day will be next month 15th. I mean, sorry, it's the cutoff day actually. I would say like invoice date, that is the base calculation, that particular day. So if I said 10th, right? So 10th is the base date for calculation. I would say this base date. Suppose if the invoice is done on 1st of September. So usually if I said payment day 15th day means what happens if the invoice is done on 1st of September, my payment day should be, what is the payment day guys? In case if we have payment day as 15th.
15th.
So generally it is 15th of September. This is the option we have. If I does the invoice on 11th of September, okay, and if I have the payment day as 15th, then what happens?
15th.
Then
Next
also
month 15.
no, normally 15th September only. If at all we don't have any cutoff option,
Okay.
it should be 15th of September. Okay, but we have this option of cutoff date or base date option. So accordingly, according to this cutoff date, this invoice payment date will be recalculated. Suppose the invoice is done on before 10th, I would say, or on or before 10th, as I think so. It's not on or, so if it is on or before 10th, the due date will be same month 15th, September 15th only, like the same condition. But if the invoice is done on 11th of September, payment day will fall into 15th October, I mean next month, not into this current month. So that invoice will be pushed into the next month's bucket. So that will be decided by the cutoff date we give here, the cutoff day we give here, this one. So payment day is 15th of every month. But if the invoice is done before, on or before 10th of that month, cutoff day will be that month 15th. And if it is done on the later date, it will be next month 15th. That's all. Here, got this one? Understand? Any confusion? If I would ask you a doubt now, so my invoice date is, let me close this one. Okay, 16th of September. Then what will be my due date? Invoice date is 16th of September, and I have this method of this payment. 15 day plus 10 day, 15 day. So the invoice is done on 16th of September, right? 16th of September is after the cutoff date. So then what happens?
October.
Correct. October 15th will be the due date. Payment day will be October 15th as this. So that's all. It is before 10th only, right? Before 10th of October only. If it is before 10th of October, on or 10th of October, due date will fall into 15th October only. Okay. Again, if the invoice is dated to be 11th of October, then the due date will fall into November. So this is the cutoff or deciding day in a month. So if on or before this particular day, if invoice is done, it will fall into that particular month's bucket only, or payment day will be that particular month's only. So both of them are interlinked. You don't have a you should not cut off day without giving a payment day. There is no meaning for that. Normally, if you have a payment day, then you can give a cutoff day, so that cutoff day will decide when the invoice has to be paid. I mean, if it is into this month or next month's payment. Why you are silent, guys? Any confusion in this logic? So it's not, but still, you have to understand the logic for sure. Clear?
Hello?
Sai, lost name. Sushila. Yeah, Santosh.
Yes, bro.
Hello.
If the
Yeah.
cutoff date we have given is 8th,
Okay.
అంటే అప్పుడు 8th కి ముందున్నవన్నీ 15th రోజు కట్ అవుతాయి. అంటే లైక్ పేమెంట్ డేట్ విల్ బి 15th, రైట్?
15th of that month, yes.
That particular month. Okay. If the payments are like invoice date is after 8,
తర్వాత చేసిన ఇన్వాయిస్ లన్నీ
next month కి వెళ్తుంది.
it will fall into next month 15th.
Okay.
Next month 15th will be the due date. Correct.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, that's all. Simple logic. అంతే అంటే ఏముండదు ఇంకా. Okay, so these are the different ways we can maintain. Literal గా ఎలాంటిదైనా డిఫైన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. You can create net 45, net 50, net 60 as you wish. Net 10 days, net 5 days also you can create. Okay, it's all up to you how you want to create. So if you want to create a very wrong. If you want to create a very small terms of payment like net 5 days, you can also create that. So what is the payment method that I have to select?
Net.
Correct. And what else I have to give?
Days
Days.
as 5.
Days as 5. Right. That's all. Right, days from the starting of invoice date, due date will fall in. That's all. So normally give terms of payments to the vendors. We can also give that, or we can also give the terms of payment as and when we post the invoice. Before posting the invoice, we can assign the terms of payment and we can post the invoice, so that due date will fall accordingly. According to the terms of payment, we link it to the invoice. Even though we give default terms of payment to a vendor, we can override it or change it during the invoice place. If there is a different agreement with the vendor, and for that particular invoice, if you want to change it, you can change it before posting the invoice. Okay. So that's all with terms of payment. Next time, I mean, after 2 classes, when we create invoices, I'll show you how the due date will be calculated according to each terms of payment. We can apply one by one, and I'll show you how it is calculated. Okay. Then, other than this, what else we have for today's class? So methods of payments. Okay, so let's discuss that if this is clear. So method of payment topic is generally here, same place, accounts payable, terms of payment, methods of payment setup. We have methods of payment. So what is it meant by methods of payment? We have configured previously methods of payment concept. So what is it meant by methods of payment? Any idea, anybody?
In which way the payment is to be made.
which way payment has to be made. What's wrong with it? Okay. It be through bank or
Cash or credit or digital. So many options are there, right?
yeah, cash payment or check payment or electronic payment or credit card payment. We have a lot of them. Okay. In business, normally you can choose any method of payment, but for checks, we know how we can print checks and how we can maintain checks. We have seen that part, as well as we have also seen post-dated checks configuration, how we can configure it, how now we can maintain it. Other than this, there are quite few which are used in business. We can select cash payment. Okay, wherein the method of payment is cash, and is generally you will give the method of payment as cash while you are doing a vendor payment transaction. Just where you are selecting check, right? When you are doing vendor payment, the same place you will select cash. Okay. Other than that, we have electronic payments. Electronic payments are something we pay it online, maybe pay it online through a banking website or online website, you say, or a banking app. You can do online payments, electronic payment. There are also situations wherein we call them as wire payments. Now also we have wire payments. If you have to make any foreign payments, normally we do wire payments or SWIFT payments. Different types of payments are there. So for check, to print the check, we have a format, export format. We have given it. In the same way, for electronic reports or printing electronic payments also, we have some kind of export format. Just download check. We download a check same way download an electronic. So for that, there is another concept called as electronic reporting, wherein you have to download one particular format of report which you want, pay any vendor. So that can be used as a reference normally. It's just like check we are using as a reference, right? The same way we can use that as a reference. So other than that, we have a lot of methods of payment like credit card payment or debit card payment or UPI payments. So in order to have this diversified types of payments, we first have to create these methods of payment in system, so that whenever we are doing any vendor payment or customer payment, we can tag them to the particular transaction that we are doing, or if we are paying or receiving, it can be vendor payment or customer payment. Methods of payment can, but these methods of payment normally are not shared. It's only if it create for accounts payable, it is only for accounts payable. In accounts receivable, you might have to create once again methods of payment, because slightly the payment methods will differ from the receiving methods, as I would understand. So in Dynamics, the remaining all we have done payment days, payment schedule, terms of payment, cash discounts, or whatever we create here normally will also show up in accounts receivable as well. Suppose if I go to accounts receivable now here, and if I go to say method payment setup, and if I go to terms of payment, so what all we have created today, you can see in accounts receivable also. So this is accounts receivable module. But methods of payments are not usually shared. Okay, it's separate for accounts payable and separate for accounts receivable. Okay, so I'll go with methods of payment. How we can configure, we'll see today. So I clicked on methods of payment. So we have few: check, PDC. We previously created. For check, we have created this method of payment, and for post dated check we have created this method of payment. We'll again come back to this place to discuss again. So for now I'm creating one more method of payment as electronic. Okay, I'm giving it as electronic. Description also I'll give it as electronic. Payment status, here you see payment status: none, sent, received, approved, rejected. Mostly it will be sent. Okay, normally when we generate a file, it will automatically change the payment status as sent. For checks, we normally while we generate check, it will automatically change the status to sent, right? So once the status is changed to sent, then only we can post that particular check transaction or that vendor payment transaction using check. If I give none, means there is no need to generate any transaction. Without generating also you can post it, because payment status will anyway be none only. Default it will be none. Okay, if I means by default it will come as none, but as and when we generate money in payment, it will not list. Okay. After
There's a
we
disturbance
can
in your voice.
keep it as sent. In the same, we have few methods. Rejected. Is it so? Is it just? Can someone confirm? Sai, can you hear me properly? Yes
Now we
or
can
no?
hear you.
Yes.
Okay, my voice break previously. Okay. Is it clear enough, Sushila? Is it clear for you?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Okay.
So can you please
Wonderful.
explain this
Yeah,
payment
sure.
status again?
Sure. So normally by default it will be none. Whenever we create any payment transaction line in vendor payments, the payment status will be none only. As and when we generate this payment, we'll get this status changed as sent. Once we generate a check, the payment status will automatically change to sent. In the same way for electronic payments also, when we generate a payment, automatically the payment status will change to sent, and once it's changed to sent, then only we can post the transaction. Suppose if you are selecting method of payment as electronic or check and you kept the payment status as sent, but in line if you maintain it as none only, then you can't post the transaction. System will not allow to post the transaction, saying that payment status should be in sent status. Then only you can post this transaction. So we normally keep this payment status as sent or required as sent because normally in payments we generate files. So once it is successfully generated, the payment file like check or the electronic payment file is generated, then it will automatically change the status to sent, and then we can post the transaction. For that sake, normally they'll maintain it as sent. Rejected means, we don't normally give it rejected here. There you can change it to rejected. For some kind of checks that we generated, to void them, we'll change the status from sent to rejected. That is the only process we follow normally. So for that purpose, we have rejected. Received and approved are mostly for customer side payments. So just like the way you have the payment status as sent from this side, for customer payments, you have the payment status as received, right? You will receive money. So for that, we can maintain payment status as received. So for some kind of transactions, you don't have to generate a file, but you can also manually change the payment status to sent. System will agree for that also. Normally, when you create a transaction, you will keep it will automatically come as none only. But once you confirm that the payment is received into your bank and you want to post the transaction, then once if it is confirmed, then you can keep it as received or sent. Or once if the money is deducted from your bank account or check is generated, then you can change the status to sent manually. You can do that. You can also manually change the payment. Whatever it's the method of payment. So if I would go to vendor payment journal, normally we have done quite few previously. It's under payments here in accounts payable when payment journal. Takes a while because it's a journal. It has to load. Okay. Yep. So suppose I will go with this journal 52 and I go for lines. So what's with this journal? So there is a line actually for post dated check where the payment status is changed to sent. I think this has to be posted. Let's go with new one. Okay. So I'll go with a vendor payment journal and go for lines. Select a vendor for payment. Same vendor we have, and we can give, since we are debiting the vendor, we can give some 1000. Then we can select the method of payment here as either check or PDC or anything. So we create electronic also, right? So, but we still have to complete that electronic. Well, we have these two because we did not save it. It's not showing up. I'll select this check. Okay. So once I selected check, you can see the payment status is still none only. But if I select the offset account as a bank account, then go for generate payments and generate a check, then I'll get the check number here as well. This payment status will change to sent automatically. Once on successful generation of check, payment status will be changed to sent and I can post it. Without changing this or without generating the check, I can't post the transaction. Suppose I'll select the offset account type as bank here and offset account here as ICICI. Okay. Then if I want to post this transaction, it is taking time. See here, there is an error. What the error says, status is none. Status must be sent. See, without the check status per payment status is being sent, you can't post the transaction. There are also missing dimensions that is also showing up. Anyway, we have to give dimensions for the bank account actually since we have advanced rules. But the main is this one. Payment status should be sent, must be sent. So if I create this method of payment, I'll just save it. Go to check here. See the payment status I gave is sent, so that whenever I have to post a check, the status should be sent. So how the status will change to sent? When we generate a check, it will normally changes to sent. Or if you forcibly change it manually, then also it will change to sent. If you want to change it from none to sent, it will change automatically. But you don't get a check number here, which is not correct. Now we can post it because it is in payment status, is in sent status. But you don't have a check number, which is not correct, and you don't have to post it without a check number. We follow the procedure to generate a check number as well as the payment status will be changed to sent. Right, so that's the whole logic behind this payment status option. Got it, guys? Any confusion in this part? Anyone? So for mostly for these kind of bank related things, it will be sent only. Okay. If you don't want to generate any check or generate any electronic payment, then you can normally make the payment status or change it to sent manually without generating the check also. So for electronic payments, we normally generate payments, but most of them will also not generate the payment. They'll manually change it to sent and they'll give a reference number, note or payment reference number field. We normally have that payment reference number field here. So they'll fill it and they'll post it. So one concept. Then out of all this, one of the most important one is this one, period. Invoice, date, week or total we have here. So this particular option is entirely related to one process called as payment proposal. So what does payment proposal does in Dynamics is, it will pull up the invoices that are open for payment. Okay. Suppose if I say date here, and if I run the payment proposal for the invoices, suppose if a particular vendor is having 10 invoices open. Okay. 10 invoices open which are posted and has to be settled. Okay, each of them are having due date as like this. Okay, 1st September, 2nd September, and so on, so on. So for 10 days, we have 10 invoices which are falling due. Okay, 10 September. Okay, suppose here, if I select invoice means this one. When I select the payment proposal or when I run the payment proposal for paying for this particular vendor, if I run the payment proposal, system will create 10 different lines for 10 different invoices. For settling 10 invoices, it will create 10 different lines. If I select the period as invoice here, So if I run the payment proposal for paying the invoices, system will automatically select each 10 different lines for settling 10 different invoices. So I would say one line for one invoice 1000, second line for second invoice which is for 1500, third line for third invoice which is for 3000. In the same way, for 10 lines, 10 invoices, it will select 10 lines for payment, and 10 times it will select the method of payment and bank account and all. So if you, I would say in 10 transactions I will pay the invoice. That is how this will work, this invoice. Suppose if I select date here instead of invoice, what system does is, in this 10 invoices, 2 invoices are having due date of 1st September. Okay, I'm talking about due date. Due date as 1st September. Remaining all have different dates. So what system does is it will consolidate these 2 invoices for a single payment. The 2 invoices which are falling onto the same due date. For the rest of all other invoices, it will create separate lines only. Suppose this invoice is for 1000, this invoice is for 1500. What system does is system will create one single line for 2500, because both those invoices are falling onto the same due date. Date criteria is selected here. Okay. And then what if I select week? Any idea what if I select week? According to the same logic which we have discussed previously, if I select week, then what happens?
The due dates falling in that week, invoice due date.
Correct. The invoices which are falling due into that particular week will be considered as a single payment. Suppose out of these 10 invoices, 4 invoices are falling into 1 week, remaining 6 are falling into another week. So how many lines system will create? How many payment lines system will create?
7.
7. Okay. Any other opinion?
Is it 4 invoices?
It is 10 invoices.
It is 10.
4 of them are falling in due into 1 week. 6 of them are falling due into another week. The next week.
2 JP.
4.
So why is 4? Why 7? Why 2? So who said 2? Saideep. Okay.
Yeah.
So why 2?
Remaining all are in the same week, right? So 4 days are 1 week, and another 6 invoices are another week. So total lines are 2.
Okay. So how many of you agree with Saideep's logic? Somebody said 7. So why 7? Sairam, why 7?
అంటే 4కి ఒక వీక్లో సెటిల్మెంట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి ఒక సింగిల్ లైన్ అవుతుంది.
కరెక్ట్.
మిగతా వాటికి 6 లైన్స్ అవుతుంది.
మిగతా వాటికి 6 లైన్స్ ఎందుకు అవుతుంది? నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ లో అవి కూడా డ్యూ అవుతున్నాయి కదా, అవి కూడా 1 వీక్ కిందకే వస్తాయి కదా. అంటే ఈ వీక్ లో 4 అయినాయి, నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ లో 6 అయినాయి, అవి మొత్తం ఆ వీక్ కిందకే వస్తున్నాయి కదా. మనం ఇక్కడ వీక్లీ తీసుకున్నాం, ఏ వీక్ అనేది చెప్పలేదు సిస్టమ్ కి. సో ఏదైనా సరే ఒక పర్టికులర్ వీక్ వస్తుందంటే ఆ వీక్ లో ఉన్న ఇన్వాయిసెస్ అన్ని కన్సాలిడేట్ చేస్తుంది పేమెంట్ కి అలా. సో Saideep's logic is correct. System will consolidate the invoices that are falling due into each particular week. So for first week there are 4 invoices falling due, so system will consolidate all the 4 invoices as a single payment. For the second week, the remaining 6 invoices which are open for payment are falling due in the second week. So for the second week it will create a single line for all the 6 invoices combiningly, because all of them are falling due into that particular week. Okay, in that way. So how the due date is, according to that particular due date in which particular week it is falling into, system will create payment lines. So now I have one more example, or the same example. There are 10 invoices, out of which suppose I would say 3 weeks. In the first week 3 invoices are falling due. In the second week another 3 invoices are falling due. In the third week the remaining 4 invoices are falling due. Now how many payment lines system will create? If I select the method as week, period as week.
1.
Who said 1?
It's me, Sairam.
Sairam, why 1? See, there are 10 invoices open. I'm saying you are running it entirely for all the invoices. It's not just for this week. Okay, if you are running the payment proposal for all the 10 invoices, for paying all the 10 invoices. Okay.
3 payment lines.
So why 3 payment lines? On
For
which
the first
category? Yeah, for the first week.
We are paying 3 invoices, so for the total 3 invoices, the payment will be in one line. As like second week and like third week as well.
Correct. So I am not making any weekly payments. Here I am running a payment proposal for paying all the invoices at a time. So may it be a later date of the due date or earlier to the due date, I am running the payment proposal. Running the payment proposal and trying to pay the 10 invoices that are open for the vendor. Okay. Then system will create 3 different payment lines. So for all the 3 invoices that are falling due into first week, it will consolidate the amount like 10,000 plus 15,000 plus 2,000, totally 4,500. It will consolidate and make a single payment line. So like this, one payment line with an offset account and all details with total amount of 4,500. In the second line, system will create another payment line consolidating the 3 invoices amount. This 3 invoices consolidated amount will be pulled up for debiting the vendor or paying the vendor. In the third week, you have 4 invoices, right? So 3 lines will be created. As and when you run the payment proposal, 3 different lines will be created regardless of the week that you are running. Okay, if you run all the 10 payment proposal for today only, still you have these invoices open which are for later weeks. System will bring them. It's up to you. Either you have to keep those lines or delete those lines and post the other line, but system will bring those lines. So we will see that process of running payment proposal once we create few invoices. So the logic is like that. Okay, this one. So mostly this is important. And I have one option called as total. So any idea what does total do? Anyone? Any assumption, just rough assumption, what does total do?
All the invoices.
Correct. So when you run the proposal, regardless of the due dates, what are the invoices that are open? If there are 10 invoices open, all the 10 invoices total amount will be brought into a single line for payment. That's all. So it can be any due date for all the 10 invoices, but system will consolidate all the 10 and bring them for the payment. So it very rarely they'll use total. There are few business clients who normally use total also for payment. So that's how this logic works. Invoice means separate for each invoice. Date means consolidating the invoices that are falling into the same due date. Week means same due date falling into same week. Total means regardless of the due date falling, the total amount of the open invoices will be consolidated into a single line for payment if you are using this method of payment. So it is specific for methods of payment. Again, for checks, I can give separate for invoice, or I can give total method because I'll generate a single check for paying 10 invoices at a time. I can use a total method. For electronic, I can use invoice method since I can pay each invoice separately. It's up to me. Okay. So when you are running payment proposal, you also will select the method of payment, definitely. So when you select method of payment, according to the option we have given here, system will work. Okay. So keep this in mind, this period option. Then we have this grace period option. So normally you will have terms of payment, right? So for certain things like check, you can keep grace period like another 2 more days additionally. Enter a number of days that are added to the cash discount date or due date to define the broadest period of time in which a cash discount can be obtained, normally for cash discounts only. So if you have given a default method of payment as check to an invoice and given cash discount date as net 10 days cash discount, 5% 10 days, so you can have 12 days time. Normally why they will have this option is like, suppose if I print check today or issue a check to a vendor today in my system, according to my system, to send it to the vendor, it may take some time, right? 2 or 3 days. So vendor can cash it anytime. It's his wish. But if at all it is handed over to the vendor, then the obligation for making the payment is met. That's what we feel. So we have hand out the check to the vendor, which means like we have taken the cash discount that is there already. So for that, today I can post the check in my system, and I can consider another 2 days of travel time for sending the check to the vendor or posting the check to the vendor. But the posting time I can take as a grace period normally. Not most of them will use it, but there is option only for cash discount when you use a method of payment as check. Mostly for these kind of delayed payments or documents which has to be sent, then only you have this option. Okay. So that's one for grace period. Then we have this other one, payment type usually. So there is no point of selection, but you can normally select it here. Payment type is check or electronic payment or promissory note or other anything. So here this is check, right? So I selected check. For post-dated check also it is check only, right? So I selected check. But for electronic payment I can select electronic payment here. This one. Okay. And anything, so here I have allowed copies of payments. So for electronic we don't usually have. For check we have allowed copies of payments. Once we have configured this export format, we can give it actually. So I think let us stop it until here. Okay, today. Tomorrow we'll continue this part, this different menu, general, file formats, why we use them, and this payment controls and payment attributes, what is the use of this. Okay, we'll also create another 2 more method of payments, as well as we'll again deeply discuss the details in this method of payments. Okay, so tomorrow we'll complete it and we'll work on, or we will discuss about another concept called vendor groups and creation of vendors, how we can create vendors. Okay, so we can finish these 2 topics tomorrow if possible. Clear until here? What all we discussed? So the key points are this one and this one. You have to remember them. Okay, I'll show you how to apply it again when we make one few vendor payments, how this works and all. Until then, just keep this in mind. That would be all, guys. If you have any doubts, you can stay back or you can drop off. We'll meet in tomorrow's class.
Yeah, I have one doubt regarding the payment schedules actually.
Sure.
So
Sure.
while applying the fixed quantity method,
Okay.
so there is a sales tax and charge amount, right? If we take as a first installment, for example, the total amount to be paid is 15,000.
Okay.
And the sales tax amount will be 5,000.
Okay. Total invoice
Amount to be paid is 15,000.
Total invoice amount is 15,000.
Yeah.
Out of which tax is 5,000. So 10,000 will be the normal invoice amount. 5,000 is tax. Okay.
So if we take the payment schedule as a fixed quantity method.
Here, yes. Okay.
So fixed quantity means the total the months we have to give, right? For example, 3 months.
3 months means each month we'll get fixed quantity, which is like 5,000 each month.
5,000. Yes.
Correct.
In that, if we select the tax amount to be paid in the first installment.
Okay.
So the actual amount is 10,000. Tax amount is 5,000, right?
Correct. In the first installment, so, tax will be
the first installment will be 5,000, and out of 10,000, we need to divide it by 3 and have to pay, or the remaining 10,000 will be paid?
You will divide the 15,000 as 3 installments, 5,000 each month. Okay. Correct. Yeah. So in the first installment, total 5,000 is deducted as tax only.
Okay.
Okay. How much our tax amount? Suppose if the tax amount is 4,000, suppose. Okay.
Okay.
Total invoice amount is 15,000. Tax amount is 4,000. So you will pay 5,000 normally, but out of this 5,000, you will consider 4,000 as tax and 1,000 as the base amount of invoice. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, there is no separate calculation for that. Just for maintenance sake or identification sake, you will have this kind of.
Okay. Actually, I thought that out of 15,000, 5,000 is the tax amount, and out of 10,000, we have to divide that 10,000 by 3. I thought that.
No, not like that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
The same applies for the
Charges as
fixed
well.
amount as well, right?
Fixed
That-
amount as well as for any specific amounts also, so it will be the same.
Okay.
Specific method also it is the same. For fixed, actually we don't have. Okay, we don't have selection criteria.
Yeah. Specific. Yeah. Okay.
Amount
Now understood.
for fixed quantity.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all. No problem. Anybody, anything else? Well, let's stop this recording until here.